Please go ahead and say, also a very good friend of mine. Love having this guy out. Sean Martin! Sean Martin, ladies and gentlemen. The great, the one and only, the super fantastic Sean Martin.
Super fantastic. I'm glad that Keith mentioned the Cesar Chavez behind me because I thought of that Simpsons joke too. And when you go to most comedy clubs, they're like a little bit tacky in that they have all these other comedians that have performed there before. And like, no offense to them, like they're all great and stuff, but they don't like really do anything for me. And it just seems cheesy to have like Sinbad, like, yeah, that's right, gonna do a bang-up job tonight, kid. So I'd much rather just have a loose Simpsons reference. I mean, yeah, the whole great thing, whatever, but, it got a part. Woo! I've been doing comedy for about 6 months now, and it's gotten to the point where every once in a while, out in the street, people know who I am based on doing comedy, which is like really cool to have somebody run up to you when you're buying bin liners and say, oh, hey, I've seen you telling jokes. Goodbye. But I have to say that I think I'm becoming a bit of a snob because that whole experience is ruined whenever someone comes up and says, oh, you're that comedian, I've seen you before. I hate that. I see. Why don't you just make it sense? I have seen you before. I've seen dumb fuck. Are you watching my comedy? A lot of people say that great pain makes for great art. And when I consider the events of my life, it's no wonder that a lot of people will refer to me as the Pablo Picasso of stand-up comedy. I'm a fairly modest dude. I'll just settle for Rembrandt or Basquiat or something. But I have had a sad life. As soon as I was born, I was dying, and I don't mean that in that Sylvia Plath Fight Club reference way, where I omit Fight Club and pretend like I knew who the hell Sylvia Plath was the whole time. I mean that the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck and cutting off my air supply. But in the next few years, I went over depression and alcoholism. My wife left me. I was diagnosed with kidney stones, but also cancer at the same time. I've been hit by 5 cars. And it's funny. I don't have insurance. Me neither. It is fun. That poor drunk girl. You guys done fucked up the momentum of this joke. By last anyhow, yeah, I hit by 5 cars, and I was nearly raped, just the once. Nearly. But honestly, after all that, do you have any idea what it's like where everywhere you go, the rest of your life, no matter who you're with, to be the toughest motherfucker up in that bitch? That's right, that's a classic. But it's kind of hard to sell it when you walk about with a Christian Bale-like physique. And I don't mean, not like Christian Bale as Batman, like freaking out on the set and yelling at that key grip. More like Christian Bale in the Italian, Spanish psychological thriller, The Machinist. I swear to God, I was watching that movie without a shirt on, and I didn't know about how skinny he was, but he lost like 80 pounds. And I got up and looked in the mirror at the same time that he was doing the same. Oh, fuck! I'm sorry for my ruse. Once you get somebody has cancer and they're performing for you, you are obligated to laugh. So I'm sorry that you're all unwitting participants in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. But it's okay. Just, do your part. Wait. No, it's okay. It's an interactive show now. That sounded like an honest-to-goodness question. It's about Sylvia Plath, because that was way back. It's okay. I'm going to go forward, and then if you've got, just take it on back. Fucking my shit up. So I can tell you that a really bad part of cancer is that people want to help you, and a lot of them are really presumptuous about it because they're so afraid of everything that they go out on the internet and they find cures for all sorts of shit. So I have people approach me all the time like, oh, you have cancer? Do you have a juicer? Listen, what you need to do, start drinking pineapple juice, eat kumquats, eat cucumbers. I read about this woman on the internet, man. All that chemotherapy, all the surgery, all the specialists who've been studying for over a decade about your specific disease. Wishful thinking, man. Kumquats, dude. I ran into this girl, and she owns some like raw foodists shop or something, and she's all about it. And I started talking to her immediately. She got like really pissed off that I had cancer. It just immediately went from being friendly to being angry, because she's all healthy. Here I am, just the effigy of. So anyway, she says, "Oh, what are your eating habits like?" And I explained to her like, "Well, I have a really hard time eating, so whenever I can eat, it's usually like comfort food, like cheeseburgers and tacos, just bullshit, really." And she goes, "Yeah, you really should start eating a macrobiotic diet of raw foods." And I was like, "Yeah, I really can't do that because of the whole appetite thing, that food doesn't sound good to eat." And she says, real stern again, "Well, don't you care about your life?" To which I said, "Bitch, the way you're talking right now, I don't think you care much about your life." So I'll go ahead and leave you guys with one more. Another downside to cancer is that it's totally taken the fangs out of my atheism. Because now, like, it used to be that I was some kind of like monster heretic because I knew so much about Christopher Hitchens and the Bible, and now it's just like, oh, well, of course he doesn't believe in God. How could you? And I mean, yeah, that's true for everybody, but with cancer, it just negates it. But anyway, one of my relatives, she still holds on. She was saying, Sean, God never gives you more than you can handle. And clearly, she's never read the book of Job, in which God gives exactly one man more than he can handle. All because he and the devil had a little bet going. That's right. The creator of all things from the infinitesimally small to the inconceivably massive had a little wave with old Scratch. And one day, the devil said, "Well, you've already taken away his livelihood and his family. You strike him down with disease. Surely he'll condemn your name." And God said, "Yeah, you know what? Why don't you go on them dice for me, King of Kings? I'm going to let it roll." My name's Sean Martin. I got business cards with my bullshit on it. Come get them.